Hi everyone, today's September the 23rd. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We're starting with the ES on the weekly, big picture view first, always important. We are looking at some lines in the sand. We can see that we are above, ever so slightly, above the close of the prior week. We have dipped and buyers have come in. The market's risen pretty aggressively since September the 9th. And so, do we love this? No, because it's just better if markets sort of grind and slop through things and break away, and grind and slop through things and then break away. So we have a few sideways patches that we're going to be looking at today with the low at around 57.08. If we collapse into the hourly, let's go to the day, right? What we can see is we are inside Friday. The body, we have a little bit up over the wick. And so this is something that suggests to me that we could potentially stay in this range if we begin inside of the body. So it's a good idea when, as John Hoagland from Top Step TV says, when we're in value and in range, we wait for better opportunities, either at the top of the range for a breakout, the top of the range for a failure, or the bottom of a range for a breakout, or the bottom of a range for a failure. If it fails this 57.37, 57.08 is going to be next. All right, taking a look at the value area here on the daily chart, it's pretty wide. I'm going to do a Fibonacci here, right? And this is, VWAP Trader from the Microfutures Room also does this measurement out. He doesn't use Fibonacci, but he does just widen them out. But we're also going to look at the value ranges from the hourly. Remember, what do our formations mean? We look at the opening hour, right? And we look at the value area high and low as it's compared to this region of a couple of days. And so we are looking at both of those for pressure to see what's going on. And so far, upward motion, sideways action, pullbacks or buy zones. Where's the best place to look for short? It's going to be up into this area, but it cannot get past 57.81. If it does, get out of the trade, slap it down, and then say, all right, I'm going to wait for this thing to fade and then come back into the range to take a short. By the same elements, we want to look at the value area low for ideal longs. That's going to be 57.48. But if it loses it, get out immediately, wait for it to establish its range, and then you can get back into the trade. All right, now, what if you take a long, it fades, it comes back, you get washed out, and it bounces, but it doesn't get past the point of control. It tells you you're underneath the hull, you're underneath the VWAP. Those things are going to tell you, wait a second, I think there's some traction here to the short side. So you can trade whatever you want in this kind of noise. Just collapse into a zone that gives you the opportunity to trade what you're looking at. All right, let's go back to the week. Let's look at the NQ. All right, now we can see we're not at these all-time highs. We've got a very wide value area from a weekly perspective, but the dips are clearly getting bought, right? And so I'm going to put some lines here that we'll want to watch as the week opens up and realize that this chart is very sideways. It's incredibly sideways, so we need to be careful about what we're looking at. Let's go to the daily. All right, contrary to what the ES is doing, it's touched well above the range. It's above the close of the prior day, trading day, and we have wicks on both ends. So what does that tell you? Somebody's trying to buy, somebody's trying to sell. Maybe they're just trading the ranges because everybody's still waiting for what's happening. The group that did the most well on Friday was a risk-off move from the utilities. And so that's worth paying attention to as Tech still is underperforming what everybody else is doing. That said, still higher lows and higher highs. Let's collapse into the 1 hour. What are we seeing? Buy the dip, still in force, very tight value area range, very tight range of motion as we see it this morning. But our breakout edges look pretty good, right? If we take a look at the 3 a.m. candlestick, it came right down into old congested support and it began to get some traction. What are we looking at here? Listen, dips are definitely buys, but look at the price compression. This becomes a very nasty place to trade. Also, we're right on top of the VWAP, and we have a downward sloping hull moving average that's telling us they're buyers above. Sellers above, but we simply cannot get above them. The moment that we do, it's going to present us, oh, for heaven's sakes, it's going to present us with an opportunity for more upside into the top of the range. Buyers have the advantage right now. Why? Because the 50 is still moving up. And so that's really what we want to focus on. Little bits at a time. Coming into the point of control looks great, but ideally, I don't know why I have this one here. What is this? That's my 1600 area candlestick. That's here. Pardon me. Let's fix this. That's our opening range candle. What's the high of the opening range? 49. All right, so let's bring this in to 49. And we can see that even though we dip there, the goal, because it's got upward trend, is to return into that hourly formation of breakthrough. And here's our midnight candlestick. That's going to be the one that those traders are going to be after, right? Can we get into this range up ahead? I suspect the dips are going to break to the north. We've got ourselves some data coming out at 8:30. I think it just did, but we really are not seeing any moves per se. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with the YM. The YM performed really well. Look at the trend here. I mean, this is clear breakout formation. Clear breakout formation. And so what normally happens on this breakout area, pullbacks end up being buy zones. So we know it's a buy the dip formation. I don't believe it is a chase or rally event. However, if our price action holds and we breach the high of Friday, which is now 537, I'm going to put a line there to help us remember what's going on there. That's going to be something that says, hey, if we collapse down into a 5-minute or a 3-minute time frame and it holds steady and continues, that's a buy zone. Most actively a buy zone. Okay. All right. Let's collapse into the hourly. And what we can see is we are inside of Friday's range, right? Here is the Friday opening candlestick formation, right? It's clearly inside of Sunday night's opening candlestick formation. So there's a lot of heavy congestion. What does that tell us? Listen, if we break out of the congestion, they're going to chase it higher. And if they don't break out of the congestion, we're just going to sit in it all day. All right? These value areas, wow, they got expanded. So let's think about using, oh, son of a gun. Hang on. Here we go. Oh no, it's good. It's good. We've got ourselves in tow. All right, sorry about that. We are still in the value area range. Very, very compact. I say wait for the bottom. If you're chasing it in one direction or another, you're going to need to be quick or you're going to be on the wrong side of a trade. All right? Just saying. Oil, let's take a quick look at oil. I don't think I'm trading oil today, but I do believe it is sitting in a pretty messy patch. Look at the formations. It's still in this pattern. Now, some folks might say, hey, is that a bull flag? it could be. My thought was, listen, 65 is the area it ought to move to, but it ought to have some trouble at 71.50. Now, it accelerated $1 past that. And so pullbacks, clearly buy zones from a weekly perspective. The value area is very big. And here we are sitting with an upward hull and a downward 30, which gives us cross currents, and we can see what the cross currents do to price. Top to bottom, right? So what do? We got to trade this intraday into its resistance zones, at which point we end up getting traction into maybe 73.56. I doubt we go higher. I doubt we go higher. But that's it. All right, that's it for me, folks. Good luck trading, and I'll see you on the platforms.